Okay. Good afternoon, small audience. No problem. The story will be a great story. I'm going to tell you something about the rollout process of smart meters. You heard a lot about IoT, and this is a story about a construction firm that's implementing on large scale the rollout process for smart meters. It's a business story. I can talk a little bit about IT and things that we've learned, but I can especially talk about what we learned as a business from this. And we've got a premiere today. The new strategy of BAM Group will be, let's say, experimented on you as a group. So I'm really curious what your reactions will be. I don't know if you know who this is. This is Rupert Murdoch, media tycoon, and he's got a lifeline. That is, the world is changing very fast. Big will not beat smaller anymore. It's the fast that will beat the slow. I work at BAM, the biggest construction firm in the Netherlands, one of the biggest construction firms in Europe. And this line is particularly applicable on us. We're the biggest, but we're not the fastest at the moment, and we've got a challenge ahead. And today is about what we're doing to make the challenge feasible, to make sure that we've got a tomorrow. Quick introduction, who am I? I was born in '83, means I'm 32 years old. A topographic card of the Netherlands. I was born in the east, the youngest of three boys. I'm the smallest. You wouldn't say so. I'm very big, and I'm the youngest. My youngest brother is 8 years older. What does it have to do with today? Well, I'm used to going ahead in a challenge, having a struggle to make sure that you got food on your plate. That's what we did at home. So that's a little bit of my root of my life. I've got a master's in industrial engineering, and you can't believe it, but when I graduated, I thought, I have to work my whole life. I'm going to do another master, and it was business administration and with a focus on innovation management. And that's where the story of Mendix also aligns. It's about innovating. It's about new things. I'm married, got 2 boys. Last night was a terrific night, had 2 hours of sleep. So it's also part of life. And since this year, actually since 5 weeks, I've transferred from what we call information management, you name it, IT, back to the business. I was raised, you can say so, in the business. And I'm a business change manager, the first in history of BAM. And that also is it's a struggle, new things. And why is that? Well, that's the story of today. It was a technology push. You will see in a moment or so why we chose Mendix and why it's successful, but also the challenge in which we are in now. Only technology and only agile thinking from IT won't work in every way that you want. So I'll elaborate on it a little further. A quick introduction of BAM. For those of you who do not know it, it are the buses on the road, green with the orange line on it. We're worldwide, and we've got an executive board in the Netherlands, where our headquarters is in Bunnik, near Utrecht. And we do a lot of things, you can see in the picture. Some figures, revenue last year, 7.4 billion. Adjusted result, 88.2 million. And approximately 22,000 employees worldwide. A big firm. Where do I work? I work within BAM Infra Nederland. It's a civil organization of BAM within the Netherlands, 4,500 employees. And I work in if you see in the picture, those 3 companies combined, BAM Energie en Water, Energy and Water, Telecom and Rail, combined as Infra Connect. And what we do is actually everything about energy, about water, fiber to the home, rail infrastructures, and all activities that are combined there from a business-to-business perspective. So we do not have directly consumers as our clients. It's like Enexis earlier today in the plenary session, but ProRail also our biggest client in the rail industry. And I mentioned when I started up, we've got a new strategy, and the strategy is a small film I would like to show you. And it's about digitalization, it's about where BAM comes from, but especially where BAM wants to go to. So let's see.
This is B, the B of BAM. The B of building houses, roads and infrastructures, and the B of the bricks to be building with. Today, people, companies and ideas all move from A to B. But in the future of building, new technologies create new opportunities, making B merely a starting point. The future of building and the journey of BAM exists beyond B, in a world that's vastly different, yet right around the corner. See? This is our vision, the direction we're heading in. Our journey is from B to C, to a future where builders become creators, where we make it before we make it, where all the bricks follow the clicks. Where we don't start a project at the beginning, but continuously learn from past projects and experiences. Where business planning becomes co-creation with our colleagues, customers, and all our stakeholders. Where we are no longer building in isolation, but where all our structures are connected through a continuous stream of data. The more we collaborate, the quicker we unlock potential. Today we are building the present, but have already started creating the future. We are moving to C, for ourselves, for our customers, and for the world. Join us today, and together we will move to C. BAM moves from B to C. Let's move together.
That's a story about the biggest construction firm in the Netherlands, and it was presented to me and a big group approximately 2 weeks ago. I work at BAM 7 years now, and it was the first time that I thought, man, this is a vision, this is visionary, this is different. Of course, it's about constructing things and about implementing small meters at homes. But it's especially about innovations and about IoT, about digital worlds. And it impressed me, and I hope that you can think about it, well, okay, BAM is different. It's different than its competitors, but it will be extremely different when it's 2020, where the strategy is all about. Let's talk about the business case. When you look at the movie about BAM, a lot of pictures, a lot about components of the movie are about big construction teams, big houses, big stories. If you go into the plenary room, you see a very large board. It's about the sea locks in IJmuiden. By far the biggest sea locks in the world that will be constructed. It's done by us. But BAM also has a different point of view, a different part of its organization. It's about processes. On the one side, you've got the big projects. On the other side, it's about process. It's about large scales, about large quantities. And that's different, and that's where the business case today is about. I will even try to do a live demo. So we'll see what the bugs will do. It's about Bob. Bob is not a name of a person, Bob's the name of an app. I think one of the biggest apps that you will find in the Mendix community. It's abbreviation, it's BAM op pad, in English BAM on the road. Funny story, each project that we start within our DevOps team, we get all the people, the players together in a kickoff. And in order to get the agile mood on, I'm always saying, okay guys, let's talk about a name for the app. What will it be? The funny story about Bob, Bob wasn't thought of by a BAM employee. It was thought of by a Mendix employee. And it's a typical thing of us. When we do Mendix projects, it's not just about BAM doing Mendix projects, it's BAM doing Mendix projects with their partners. With the partners first, Flow, Cape, Business Scope, but also with Mendix. We join them, and that makes our success. What is the business case about? We're actually at the moment we're in phase 3. That means 2 phases behind us. Phase 1, It's about optimizing and automating key business processes with a focus on the complete domain process. Phase 2, develop the next generation of business processes capable of handling large quantities and making businesses scalable. And phase 3, my personal story, upgrade your organizational structure in order to realize continuous improvement with strategic focus based on facts, not on emotions. Back to the drawing board. What did we do? A lot of text on the screen. Bob consists of 3 components. The first component, by far the biggest, it's a Mendix app in the Mendix cloud. Work preparation, planning, consumer data, consumer portal. The whole total domain process is automated in Mendix. What do we mean with the domain process? It's about where we get the work order from our customer, let's say a Nexus, up to where the bill is collected from our customer and all the horizontal and vertical channels that are within the process. It's different. It's not just focusing on, okay, we've got a problem in this particular place, this particular business process, or this piece of the business process. Now, business process redesign of the total process, including the organization. It's about home connections, the green roof, multimedia, fiber to the home, energy, so electricity, water, gas, and it's about home connections. So where consumers build new homes or their infrastructure needs to be upgraded, it's from the channels that are from the roads to the homes that we implement. And we do that with a Mendix app. Kickoff to go live in 14 weeks. You can say, well done. If I'm really, really true about it, it was not just that well done. What happened? We scored a big contract in the south of the Netherlands. Hooray. Oh, we have to deliver XML documents at the end of the process. Okay, will do. But what is the XML about? And that's when, in this case, business and IT came together only 16 weeks before the go live of the biggest contract at that moment within BAM Infra Connect, and the business said, well, I just make an app and I have to make sure that the XML comes out and that's your thing. And we said, well, ain't gonna happen. The XML means that you have to do this and this and this and that. And it's a typical story, which you always hear, the business wants this, IT is there, and how do you connect? How do you solve it? And in this case, it was Agile, I say Agile 2.0. There was this much of a plan, there was a budget, and we just said, the contract is there, you have to deliver, 1st of September, you have to go live, and just go for it. And actually, 2 minutes before the 1st of September, the last scenario for the test was done, and our client said, okay, go live on the 1st of September. So it was very fast, a team of 13 Mendix developers, 6 people from BAM, by far the biggest Mendix team that we ever had. And it was good. We still have the contract. I'll come back to the operational performance in just a bit. Complex picture, I just said, we've got a horizontal and vertical channels. It's a complete business process. This is the visualization. The green line, it's from preparation to scheduling to execution to invoicing and all the steps that are within there. We've got different services that we can apply to the market. Smart meters today, home connection, maintenance, fiber to the home, and a new one that's going live in approximately 6 weeks, area management. And we've got different channels, consumer portals. You say, what consumer portals? Within now and 2020, more than 1 million consumers will go through the Mendix app, which we support the smart meter installation process, the rollout process with. Many, many, many customers that go into there. Not our customers, the customers from the service providers. And a lot of different uses, some topologies there. Management, information management, call center, back office technicians. It goes on and on and on, and on the other side, different stakeholders, the consumers, the business, government, etc. Then, time to ramp up. This is about, phase 1 was about home connections and making them feasible. making it profitable, making the business case work. And then the smart meter came along. For those of you that do not live in the Netherlands has the objective to make 90% of the homes in 2020 make them have a smart meter. That's a lot. We are currently dominating the market. And this is particularly, these are two tenders, 1.2 million smart meters between 2016 and 2020. Why is that important, the large scale? Phase one was about manual planning. So people in the back office were drag and drop work orders to a technician, making sure they had contact with the consumer. Are you home? Is it okay if we install the smart meter? Or is it okay that we make the home connection? And that won't work if you have to do 1.2 million smart meters in, let's say, 3.5, 4 years. It was a best value procurement. That means that in the old situation, our customers say, okay, we want you to install these meters and you have to do it in this and this and this way. In this case, the only thing that they said was, okay, install this many smart meters. These are the KPIs that we will manage you on, and that's it. And that's where we were a bit getting hot, like today. Okay, we were successful in making home connections. The business case was going up. And this asked for a different type of process. And what we did made the planning process fully automated. That means once you make a planning, and I'll show you it later on in the demo, it's integrated and you don't have to do anything anymore. The app does it for you with smart algorithms on the back. And it's about the customer journey, big data. We are applying BI with use of the OData connectors. But especially it's about the happy flow. This is the happy flow. It's in Dutch, but it's fairly simple. What does the happy flow? The happy flow is, let's say, the process on paper, the steps that you have to take in the process to make sure that at the end the invoice is collected, but also the foreseeing steps, let's say from the consumer is not home, back to the planning, etc. It's also the happy flow, and the happy flow is about making sure that the application takes the work order or the client through the processes as automated as possible. It makes it possible for us to get the first time right at, it's here 90%. Last week it was more than 98%. So 19% of the work orders that get to the end of the process are through the happy flow. It's a lot. If I say, okay, already 140,000 work orders have been through the process, and you think about the 2% that don't follow the happy flow, so they get stuck in the middle, it's a lot. What do I want to say with it? When the happy flow works, it doesn't mean that IT or EM or the business is done. It's about making the 98% go to 99. It's about making the 99% going to the 99.5. And the energy and the hardness that you have to put in to make sure that eventually you get to the 99.9, etc. %, it's fast, it's enormous. And that's the business challenge. How do we do that? Fact-based operational excellence. What is that? It's business intelligence, only not from purely a management perspective, but from an operational perspective. It's about technicians, it's about consumers. I've put in a print screen from the KPI dashboard. This is KPI dashboard 3.8. Don't know why 3.8 it is. But it's about the little city called Goor in the east of the Netherlands. We've got almost 4,000 work orders in the process. And you can see almost real time how the KPIs develop within a contract. So in this case, you can see how many consumers have rejected the smart meter, how many consumers were not home, how many technicians did not meet up with the planning. What we do with the operational dashes is make it to the lowest point in the organizational operational. That means when a technician enters his office in the morning at 6, he can see on the dashboard, okay, I'm Martin, and yesterday I performed this. My colleague performed this. Why is it that my colleague is performing better than I am? It's a total different mindset when you come from business process redesigning to making it operational applicable in the context of BOM. And then the nicest picture, I think, this is the business case. Actually, this is the operational performance of Bob. We started there. I'm as arrogant to say that we started in green and not in red. We are now at the moment where the vertical is. And it are the different phases. What do I want to tell you with this? Well, what we've learned is, okay, we had Bob 1.0. It was about home connections. We had a bit of ramp on. Eventually it became successful, and then the smart meter rollout came along. And that's where we started to automate the planning based on algorithms. And we thought, and especially me thought, well, the algorithms are great, they are well thought of, smart people have conducted them, and it will work. And we forgot, okay, well, you've got the academic side of algorithms, but you have to make them, again, operational. You may have to make them figurable on the screen in order to make sure that the people that have to deal with it day in, day out, and they have to make sure that the planning is eventually made, they can see it on the screen. And that's what we forgot. We went we went through a big dip in operational performance, a small crisis within BAM, one of the biggest contracts, operation dip, and you can imagine that when we went over phase 1 and went into phase 2, and management saw a line that was going down, 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 a little bit of panic could come along. Happily, it did not. We stayed calm and we focused on, okay, but what is it? Why does it not perform? We took some steps, and now we're up. The business case is going well at the moment. And now I predict that we go into phase 3 where the business case will go a bit down. That's the key thing within business intelligence, how we apply it. It's about knowing what happened yesterday, but eventually predicting what will happen tomorrow. Based on the big data that is within the app, based on all things that are happening within the channels, within the process, in order to make sure that eventually we'll ramp on even faster. I'm talking a bit now, cut to crap, let's see the app, and some of the boys of the team are in the room. Normally they place a bug somewhere within the app, so we'll see how far I get. This is the app. I'll demo the contract of Kogas. It's a distribution organization in the east of the Netherlands. We're doing approximately 100,000 smart meters up till 2020. And when I go in the app, I'll zoom out a little bit. This is the happy flow. The happy flow is about going that direction and also going that direction from there to there. It's about work preparation, it's about scheduling, it's about executing, and especially about invoicing. But also the unhappy flow, caught up in the happy flow. What do you mean with it? You got some, what we call logs, bakjes in Dutch. Work orders can go through the happy flow, but they also can get caught because a scenario happens that we did not foresee. So it's in one dash operational what happens within the app. When I go into the app, I mentioned earlier on, okay, we were implementing extreme, difficult, complex algorithms, but we did not make them visible. So we start developing Bob 2.5, And the first thing that we did was, okay, let's make, let's say this one. Let's make clusters. It's a small part of a bigger whole. Let's say Goor. A cluster is what you see in the picture. And let's make it visible. Ta-da! This is what happened, what we built with Mendix within 2.5. So before Bob 2.5, the visibility, this was not there. You can imagine if you are talking about 100,000 plus work orders, consumers, and it's just raw big data with filters on top, people will not make sense about it. You have to make sure that the visibility is there, that they can make something about it. Also about the planning process, what we do is we plan in 3 steps. Step 1, select a week, and in this case, the cluster that you want to plan. Step 2, choose your technicians. And step 3, choose the availability of the technicians. If you do that, I won't demo it because I'll make something broke, I'm afraid. But if you do that, and you push the button, then it goes into the cloud, and the cloud goes on, and eventually the most optimal planning based on the cost price is back. What do people say? Yeah, Martin, for sure. It's the big box, and I put something in and it comes out, and well, what does it make sense? Well, that's where we made the algorithms visible. I'll show a picture now. And there's the planning. In this case, it's about 7 technicians. So it's a small planning. It can go up to 250 technicians within one planning. And what you see on the right side, from 1 week, let's say 6th of June to 10th of June, the tracks that the technicians have to do on a daily basis in order to make sure that the meters are installed. In this case, we come from the algorithms, talking, and the algorithms are great, and the business says, yeah, you can tell me, but I don't see it. And eventually, we showed it up on the screen, and we're talking about, okay, but this is where your concerns are. Basically, what the business says is, okay, the most optimal planning is where the black lines are not visible. That means that the technician in this case doesn't have to drive from home 6 to home 8 for 10, 15 minutes. Between jobs, but where he can just go hit the door and go to the next door without going into his car, without unpacking and packing again. And that's the basic thing, the basic KPI within this process is about making sure that traveling time is as low as possible, because from the dashboards we can see that the technicians that are the highest in success, the highest profitable, are those that are barely sitting in their car on a day. And step 3, the last major concern of the business was, okay, now I've got the visibility, I can see what's happening, but I can't cut in, I can't change it on a base. So what we did, we let our partners build a widget, and the widget is called, in English, nicely drag and drop. In Dutch, sleur en pleur. A lot of people from the Hague are working within this contract. So, what you can do with the widget is, well, first of all, seeing what the overall status on a daily basis is. We're looking at today. It's a live data. Green is okay. Green is done. Red is not executable. So it's or too complex or some different technical issue is there, and you cannot make sure that the work order is done. But also, on the right side, the red line is where today is actually now is, and it will run along. And it gives them the possibility to get an overview of the total planning, but also you can drag and drop. You can easily drag a work order from technician A to technician B, within all the business rules, business values that are within the algorithms. So if the app says, okay, you took it from A to B, but it's too costly, then it won't allow you. Chosen the parameters that we choose. I've been through the demo, no bugs. Have you got any questions for me? No?
Planning algorithms are you using for plan? What kind of planning algorithms are you using for that plan board?
We do not use our own algorithms. There are two guys in the back. They're from Ortec in Zoetermeer. They've got the algorithms in the cloud, so it's cloud Mendix versus cloud Ortec. Only thing that we do is, okay, you want the package in this format, we give it to Ortec. Ortec is elaborating on it and making sure that the most optimal planning is given back to us. But also, if you go to the process 6 weeks ahead of the appointment, we start making a planning. But a lot of things happen along in time. For example, a consumer has the possibility to replan, reschedule his appointment within a Mendix app connected to Bob. The technician can get sick. Or customer can say, okay, you want to install the smart meter, we won't allow you. A lot of parameters, and what we do with Ortec is not just making sure that the most optimal planning is there, but also the rescheduling based on all the business rules that are within the algorithm, and we applied it in Bob. Okay. Other questions? No competitors? Wanting to know how we made this successful? No?
What's the next optimization that you're planning to do?
We are developing Bob 3.0 at the moment. The story is about 14 weeks to go live. A lot of technical debt within the application. Taking some time to make it stable, make it scalable. Going to Bob 2.0, same thing happened again, only we got 8 weeks. And we had to implement all the complex algorithms. What we're doing at Bob 3.0, we took some good things from Bob 1 and Bob 2, and all the garbage was put away, and we're totally reinventing Bob 3 with all the insights that we have and all the business value that we know. So it will be about the dynamic case management, not about workflow management anymore, but it's about dynamic case management. And it will be ready in, let's say, 6 to 8 weeks. Then we'll go live, and it's ramping up again. So a bit of a dip, I can assume, and then we'll go on. Yes? No more? Thank you. Let's have a beer.